welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take these scraps and show you guys how to transform them into a beer mug. Here we go. For this project you just need a few simple tools. You need a lathe, of course, a pair of dividers, an angle finder, a pencil, a square, and some wood. These scraps, I went dumpster diving yesterday and I found it behind a wood store, so that was pretty cool. I got myself some oak. And that is all going to help you make an amazing blank. Here's how we get to that blank. So what you want to go ahead and do is take your scraps, find your dividers. I'm getting about a 2.5 inch circle here. That'd be plenty for my beer mug. I'm going to place it. I'm going to find my round. I'm going to draw my circles. And I'm going to cut them out at the bandsaw. I'm going to need about 6 of these circles to get the appropriate size beer mug to fit a 12-ounce cold beverage. So here we go. I'm going to mark out 6 more of them and I'll see you over at the bandsaw. Thanks for joining me at the bandsaw. So I've got each one of my circles plotted out. I misspoke earlier. The size of my circles, I'm going for a 3-inch circle, not a 2.5 inch. So now what I've gone and done, I took my square, I struck a line down the center between the 2 circles. That's going to help me draw a straight line. I'm going to go ahead and cut each one of these out. Pieces cut out. What I'm going to go ahead and do, now we need to glue each one of these on top of each other, but we're going to add a little design feature in this. This is how I made it my own. You can do whatever you want at home. What we're going to do end grain, side grain, end grain, side grain, end grain, side grain, end grain. So I just alternated it, and it's going to give it a really cool effect as we get this round on the lathe. Let me grab some glue. Let me grab some clamps. Let's get this bad boy glued up. Awesome, guys. We've got that glued up. We're going to let it rest overnight. Good thing I made an extra blank. Woo! Alright, guys. So we've got the chunk. Now we're going to take our angle finder and your pencil. You're going to go ahead, strike your lines, find your center. I usually do all 4 corners on the top and the bottom. You're going to go ahead, punch your hole out, and get it ready. Get it mounted in the lathe. Take your spur drive, line it up, drive it home, stick it in your lathe, bring up your tailstock, mark it in the center, lock your cell drive down, you're ready to turn this thing around. Cool. Alright, guys. So we've got our blank mounted here in the lathe. I've got my lathe set to about 400. I always like to start slower and then work my way up. I'm going to use my bowl gouge here on this project. I've got end grain and side grain that I'm going to be dealing with, and this is the appropriate tool. It's my Hurricane 5/8 inch bowl gouge. So we'll go ahead, we'll turn this on, and first step to this project, we're going to get it round. And then we're going to work on getting a tenon. So let's get this bad boy round. our tendon formed, we used the scraper. We came in here. We got it to the appropriate size. We used our caliper for that. Then we took our skew chisel. We gave it a little bit of a taper just like that. Now at the bottom I want to have a bead, and I want to taper it from the top to the bottom. I want the bottom wider than the top, just slightly. Here we go. On that. So now what I want to go ahead and do, you could take your number 2 pencil or your square, place it on top, see where you've got high spots and low spots, and you want to go ahead and even this taper all the way down before you begin your bead. So it looks like just on the end grain parts I've got to go ahead and work the thing down, and we'll be square. Here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's the outside of the mug. Pretty easy, huh? I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get it sanded up. We'll get this thing flipped over. We'll start hollowing out the inside. So I've got it sanded down to about 400 grit. It looks really shiny and awesome. I haven't applied a finish or anything to it. Now I'm going to go get some sanding sealer. I'm going to do 2 coats of sanding sealer. Then I'm going to just put a simple wax on it because I am going to be putting cold beverages in it. So a simple wax finish should be as durable and water resistant as I need. So let me go ahead, get those 2 coats of sanding sealer on it, and I'll show you guys how I do the wax on the outside. Sanding is done. I've got sanded it down to 400. I put 2 coats of sanding sealer on it. I think it looks fantastic. The way I oriented the rings looks really cool and artsy. I think this is going to make a fantastic mug. I would definitely be proud to drink out of this. Let me go ahead, put on that coat of wax. So what we're going to need for the wax are 2 simple items. You're going to need your 100% wax, and you're going to need a rag. So the way this is going to go is you're going to turn on your machine. You're going to take your wax. You're going to gingerly apply it to your piece, just like so. A little bit goes a long way. A little bit on the outside. Now we're going to take our paper. We're going to fold it up. And we're going to work this wax into the piece, just like so. And this is going to give it such a smooth finish, and it's going to look just like glass. It's amazing. So you just work it in like that. Get it into the crevasse. Get it into the other crevasse. Get it on down here at the bottom. Very good. Now take a dry portion of the towel and just work it on there like so. Very good. Now we're ready to take this piece, take it out from between centers. We're going to use my one-way chuck over here. We'll get it chucked up and we'll start hollowing out the inside. Alright, perfect. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The time has come to hollow out the inside of our mug. For this, I've got my 1/2-inch bull gouge from Hurricane Tools, downsized from the 5/8. That was all in the set that I bought. There were 3 bull gouges, a 5/8, a 1/2-inch, and a 3/8. So let's go ahead. We'll start hollowing out the inside of this thing.
Got a lot tied up inside. Got Jesus on your mind, and a boy that just won't fight. Baby, it's a grind, and this your bitter life, where nothing just won't do. The girl pleads, the woman needs a wedding ring. That bird won't sing. There's a war going on outside, but only you and mine. Man, you're feeling bad. Boy, you're full of spite. For this your bitter life, where nothing just won't do. The boy dreams, the man deems himself a king, but that bird won't sing.
So we've got it hollowed out. Thank God for the negative rake scraper. Oh my God, this thing's a lifesaver when doing a project just like this. I've got it down to where I want it. All that I've got left to do, sand the inside, and let's make a handle. Yee! Somewhat of a mug here. There it is. That's the outside. That's the inside. Looks super cool. I took it over to the bandsaw. I cut the tenon that I had on there. I'm going to go ahead and reverse chuck this on my lathe. I'm going to clean up the bottom, dish it out a bit so it sits just there on the rim, and then we'll go. We got to make a mug holder. All right, be back as soon as I get this reverse mounted on the lathe. If you guys are ever making cups, the best way is that reverse mount. This is what it's all about. I've got these like they're these non-skid pads that you pick up at the Home Depot. You place that in there, and then you're going to want to just lightly open up your jaws, but not too tight. You don't want to crack your cup. So you do that. And then what I like to do to clean up the bottom is I'm going to bring my tailstock back. Pick it up there. and we'll slide the tailstock, and I like to put the tail in to hold the back end of the cup up. And I'll use the tailstock that has the point. We'll put that in just like so. We'll slide it up to our cup like that. Or bring that in just a little bit. And that's going to hold it nice and smooth. Cool, guys. So there it is, we're in the home stretch. That's the outside. That's the inside. That's the bottom. It's looking good. Found a mug in the house. Sketched out my handle. That's gonna be it. This is a piece of mahogany that I'm using. Where I found the wood to build the cup, I also found little chunks of mahogany. It was awesome. Dumpster diving. They came in little pieces like that. I just sawed off a piece and I sketched my handle out. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get to my rigid 14-inch bandsaw. I'm going to get this bad boy cut out. Then we're going to get to my drill press, sand the edges, and then we'll be able to glue this to the cup. Here we go. Let's cut the piece out. Alright guys, so I've got the drum sander attachment that I picked up at the Harbor Freight attached to my awesome Ryobi drill press. On my drill press I've got a flat piece of wood with a little groove cut out of it, and that lets me get perfect sanding on all my little parts just like this. So let's go ahead, let's kick this on and let's get this sanded. Cool guys, so now that we've got our handle made, now we need to go and form it to the cup. The best way that I know to do this is I'm using some 100 grit sandpaper. I place it on the side just like this, and I rub it back and forth just like that. And then it's time to glue this bad boy to there. Sweet. Alright, so here we are. Now we're going to go ahead. We've got to attach our handles to there. So what I want to go ahead and do, since I've got a little bit of wax on this piece, I want to make sure I get most of that off so I get the glue to stick nicely. And the way I want to go ahead and do that, I'm going to hold my piece where I want it. I'm going to kind of mark with a pencil the area that I want to remove the wax in, just like so. Cool. And now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper and I'm going to scuff those little areas up. See if that shows up on the camera. What I've done there. There it is. Perfect, we're in focus. So I went and I marked out where the handle's gonna sit. Now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take a little bit of sandpaper, I'll scuff those two marks up, and we'll get this glued up. Squeeze it too tight. You don't want to squeeze all the glue out of there. Alright, perfect. That's sitting on there rather nicely. I'm going to go ahead and take a rag. I'm going to wipe off the excess. When this dries, I'll show you guys the completed beer mug. This is awesome. Let's go ahead. Let's give ourselves a cheers. Let's put something in it. Guys, if you like this video, be sure hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you.